Yo, what's up, guys? Can't really see me, but I don't have my camera stand right now. But it is currently 7:18 in the morning, and I usually wake up and clear all my messages. So most of my messages have been already cleared out. Let's see. So what do we have for today? Today we got a bunch of shit to do. We have like 7 meetings, something like that. 6-7 meetings. Right now we're working on the customer support flow optimization, and then we'll see what I need to do after that. I'm gonna restart my computer real quick because it's a little glitchy. Oh, something said upload failure. What the fuck? Again, introvert in the mornings. I will see you guys at 5 p.m. or 5:30. Maybe we'll want to record during lunch, but I'll be gone until then. So right now I'm reading this book by Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I'm also listening to the audio version of this. Let's see if I can pull it up. Apparently, if you listen to audio version and also read the book at the same time, it collects in 2 different parts of your brain, and that's a lot better than just one. So right now I am on chapter 1, and I'm just kind of slowly making sure I'm going through everything. So what I've learned so far is that most of the time founders just feel like they have to do everything and feel like, okay, more work is more output, which in certain seasons makes sense. Of like, there's certain seasons where you just need to work and work and work. I understand that, but there's a certain point where it doesn't make sense when the founder is doing $10, doing $30 hour tasks, because they're worth a lot more, because their primary goal as a founder is to just bring more revenue, and the other stuff should be delegated out. So it should be taught and delegated out. Like Dan Martell, a really good quote in here. Let's try to find it. You can always make more money, but you can never get more time. So you need to ensure the stuff that you spend your time on makes the biggest impact. Another one is really good. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results, by James Clear. If you haven't read The Atomic Habits, it's a really great book. What the fuck? I don't know why my Audible is not working here. I'll probably have to, I'm trying to get the audiobook to fucking work here on my other phone. The buyback, I am fucking illiterate. The buyback principle means that entrepreneurs shouldn't be checking email unless they want to. The buyback principle means you should excel at a few tasks and you're mediocre at best at others. The buyback principle means that you're choosing what to do today. You should be selecting the highest value tasks. So pretty much you should be spending most of your time towards the shit that you're actually good at, and delegating the rest that you are probably mediocre at, which is more than likely. I'm trying to play this book right now. Looking swole.
You'll also be able to craft the life you originally envisioned when you became an entrepreneur. You'll learn how to use this principle to buy back additional time in your calendar to focus on what makes you money and lights you up. And then a wonderful cycle begins. As your company makes more money, you buy back even more time. The result, you'll be happier, and you can continually upgrade your time and buy back your freedom. As people pay you to do what you love, your energy goes up and you make more money, redepositing it back into what you're excellent at. Your business grows. As you'll find out in this book, you can keep hiring out those additional pieces that are must-dos, but not for you to do. Administrative work, customer delivery, follow-up, even sales. As more work comes in and you stay focused on what you enjoy, your business will pull in more revenue. Buyback principle means that entrepreneurs shouldn't be checking email unless they want to. Buyback principle means you excel at a few tasks and you're mediocre at best at others. The buyback principle means that when you're choosing what to do today, you should be selecting the highest value tasks. If you don't believe me, I get it. Most entrepreneurs don't. Stuart didn't either, until he tried it. The rest of Stuart's story. When Stuart finally got a hold of this buyback principle and started focusing on those areas that were most important, everything changed. While he was largely bedridden and struggling to take a deep breath on a daily basis, this hard-working, problem-solving founder found my material and devoured everything I taught. Over a 2-week video watching binge on my YouTube channel, SaaS Academy. For the first time, Stuart saw the lunacy of how he was running the company. More importantly, he saw a better way forward. He immediately began auditing his time, and what he found was remarkable. Stuart shared with me, I've always been mindful of my time, but when I wrote it down, I realized, I shouldn't be doing this. Besides the shocking number of low-value tasks that were eating away his days, he was spending a ton of time scoping, managing, and completing engineering tasks. When he tallied his buyback rate, something I'll teach you in the next chapter, he was shocked. There was a huge gap between the hourly value of his time, $100, and the hourly value of the task he was spending his time on, $10. Essentially, he was costing his company $90 an hour most of his workday. And he was killing himself in the process. Stuart prioritized what tasks to offload next. I'll show you how to do this using the replacement ladder in chapter 5. Then he spent the next month filming himself with a video camera, recording himself conducting every task that he wanted to transfer to his 2 new hires. A trick we'll discuss in chapter 7 called the camcorder method. Stuart learned what to offload, what to keep, who to give it to, and how to manage everything. He learned that his entire goal wasn't to manage productivity, but to manage his own energy and emotions, maximizing his production quadrant, chapter 2, so he could bring huge results to his organization, all while getting truly excited about his work. Within 2 months, Stuart freed up more than 30 hours a week, going from working 11 hours a day to working 6, making him a more engaged father and a more supportive husband. He even found time to return to his former hobbies, such as earning his blue belt in jiu-jitsu. In the end, his company's revenue tripled, his income doubled, and his panic attacks disappeared, all in less than a year. My only regret, Stuart told me, is that I didn't find you sooner. Stuart's life perfectly illustrates how to buy back your time in a nutshell. Entrepreneurs should use their resources to purchase more time. All this extra time should go towards those tasks they excel at, they enjoy, and that add high value to their business. Today, when Stuart thinks about hiring a new employee, he follows the buyback principle. Don't grow your business, hire to buy back your time. Hitting the pain line. Stuart's story is a bit extreme. However, the path that led him there is one most entrepreneurs tread far too often. Entrepreneurs who continue believing that everything rests on their shoulders, especially the low-value tasks they hate performing, will eventually hit the same point Stuart did. Something breaks. It could be their health, their morals, their family, or simply their daily habits. As I was writing this book, 3 of my new coaching clients came to me with stress-induced shingles or adrenal fatigue. Some founders stuck in this grind self-medicate the daily stress with a variety of vices, ranging from seemingly harmless to the clearly addictive. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you overeat, game into the early mornings, or veg in front of the television. If you've been in this longer and dealt with the stress for decades, you may have turned to much more harmful activities to get your head clear from the daily tasks that are haunting you. Yes, some turn to overeating, alcohol, and even white powder. Entrepreneurs who don't learn to take back their week and refocus their energy will feel less and less free as their business grows because they come up against what I call the pain line. The pain line is the point at which growth becomes impossible. For Stuart, that happened at Disneyland on vacation. Before vacation, he was a fast-paced, diligent entrepreneur. After vacation, his body quit on him. His pain line crept up on him physically. If you're like most entrepreneurs, the pain line occurs right about 12 direct reports and just over $1 million in revenue. At that point, you've built a business on your hard work ethic. Even if you have employees, all the stress is still on you. The buck stops with me is your mentality. This work hard, no one can do it like me mentality works until it doesn't. You can sustain growth up to a point, but then the emails, the to-dos, the low-value tasks you hate doing continue sucking your energy. It all creates a wall of pain. You realize that the more you grow, the more pain you'll experience. Your calendar will explode and the weight of your responsibilities will increase. You think about work constantly and you dread going in. After coaching and leading thousands of entrepreneurs across various organizations and experiencing the pain line myself, I can tell you this: no entrepreneur will grow into pain. An entrepreneur will ruin their business before letting it grow into something more painful. They may do it subconsciously and they may do it slowly, just enough to bring the pain of their growing company back to a manageable amount of difficulty. When you hit your own pain line, where the daily pain of working on tasks and projects you hate is too great, you either change by embracing new beliefs, systems, and tactics, or you stop growing. Your growth halts because of an emergency, as it did with Stuart. Or, more likely, you subconsciously stop your own growth by doing one of 3 things. 1. Sell. When an entrepreneur is experiencing so much pain in their business, they just want out at all costs. They'll often decide to sell. For example, in 2020, a couple called me. They'd grown their business to $6 million in revenue per year. It was very profitable, but they hadn't learned to apply the buyback principle. After 10 years, their health had degraded, their friendships were in shambles, and their marriage had turned into a roommate relationship. They were done, and they asked me for help to sell. I explained how they could begin buying back their time to get their life back, but it was too late. They'd lost their passion for their company and their marriage. Entrepreneurs can grind so hard that their drive and passion for their businesses diminishes to extinction. If you truly want to sell, but on your terms. Don't just sell because you feel desperate to get out of a bad situation. 2. Sabotage. Any of this sound familiar? You suddenly decide to launch a new product or line of business. You urgently feel the need to overhaul your website. You keep replacing key team players for small mistakes. You drag your feet on business decisions until the opportunity slides by. If any of that sounds like you may be hitting your pain line. Under pain, many entrepreneurs will make a subconscious decision to sabotage their own company because growing means more pain. It's a tricky one to see at first. On one hand, they desire to grow their business, and they're actively trying to. But every time they hit the pain line, They make a bad decision that knocks their business back into a manageable state, using that decision as the excuse. They don't realize that they're causing themselves to stop growing. Determined, they get back up, but the next time they hit the pain line, they make another bad decision, repeating the cycle. Entrepreneurs don't usually recognize when they're self-sabotaging. Every time they reach their pain line, they sabotage their company's growth until it gets back to a level they can safely oversee. They make sudden decisions. We need a new website. Let's try changing markets. You aren't doing this right. They may justify these actions, but they're really just overreacting to internal emotions. Well, no one wakes up and says, I'm going to ruin my business today. They subconsciously ruin their business by rationalizing unnecessarily dramatic decisions. 3. Stall. Stalling is what happens when you confess, I'd rather have a smaller company. It's making a conscious decision not to grow. When you're so overwhelmed managing your current company's size, growth can feel downright exhausting. Here's the dirty secret about stalling. A decision not to grow is a decision to slowly die. Marketplaces evolve because human nature forces them to. Susan will always want a faster bicycle. Kevin will always want a better iPhone. Larry will always want a bigger TV. That growth bent DNA expresses itself throughout every human decision. Even if you're a small business in a local market, if you don't evolve, your customers will leave for a better option. Growth isn't just necessary for expansion, growth is necessary for survival. Perhaps the worst possible outcome of stalling isn't just your customers leaving you, but your employees leaving you. When you decide to stall growth, you start a countdown timer on how much longer your star players will hang around. The same nature that drives little Susan to want a faster bicycle is the same nature driving adult Susan to want a promotion, more money, and greater responsibilities in her career. If she recognizes there's no opportunity for her to grow at your company, she'll eventually walk away. When you stall, even though you may not realize it, you're agreeing to shrink. If you consider tomorrow and you feel the dreaded weight of emails, administrative tasks, people management, and a list of activities you hate doing, you're facing pain. But here's the hope. The pain line is your opportunity to change your perspective from thinking that more business growth equals more pain to knowing that more business growth equals more freedom. Don't believe me? Believe Stuart. By applying the buyback principle and redeploying his time, he now has more energy and his company makes more money. He has more time with his family and he employs more people. He looked at his time and saw that how he was using it was a bit crazy. He was stressing himself and hurting his relationships. Ironically, while he probably thought he was helping his company, he was hurting it. For one, he was not spending his valuable time on what would bring his company the most money. Second, by doing too many tasks himself, he was keeping others, like the head of engineering he ultimately hired, from getting paid to do work they're world-class at performing. Stuart became the hero of his own story. He transferred tasks to people who were better equipped to handle them. Then he started working on what he loved, building his company, and his business exploded. Systems over goals. I'm gonna guess, you probably already know, that if you had dozens of extra hours in a week to focus on what you really wanted to focus on in your company, it would explode. You're smart. You have plenty of ideas on how you can arrange your company, increase sales, and up your marketing game. You've got dozens of ideas on how things could run smoother. But the problem is, you think, I don't have the time. I can't afford the help. No one's as good at the work as I am. No one wants to do the work. I can't find good people to hire. Basically, you know that with more time, you could create a better company. But these obstacles and others are standing in your way. What you need is a system. Trust me, I had guidance getting to the point where I am today, leading and investing in dozens of companies while loving life and spending time with my family. I want to give you the same guidance. In Atomic Habits, author James Clear talks about the importance of systems versus goals. Winners and losers have the same goals, he writes. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In this book, I'm offering systems to help you climb out of the first part of Stuart's story and land in the second part. No one sets out to become an overstressed workaholic with declining health and relationships. Entrepreneurs end up there because they lack tested systems that deal with the unique challenges founders face. In the chapters that follow, I'll lay out exactly how to climb into the best part of Stuart's story. The first thing you need to understand is how the buyback loop works. Buyback loop: audit, transfer, fill. When you use the buyback principle to repurchase your time and then focus that free time on what lights you up and makes you more money, you create what I call a buyback loop. A buyback loop occurs as you continually audit your time to determine the low-value tasks that are sucking your energy. Then you transfer those tasks optimally to someone who's better at them and enjoys them. Lastly, you fill your time with higher-value tasks that light you up and make you more money. Then you start the process over again. Did you catch it? Audit, transfer, fill. Using this approach, you can continually upgrade your time throughout your entrepreneurial journey again and again. Today, the low-value tasks that are sucking your energy might be invoicing or emails. Once you've offloaded those and upgraded your time and energy, you may start working on new marketing projects to get more customers or have the time to get on sales calls that you enjoy. Eventually, you'll likely need to move from there to working on your leadership or your company strategy. Even from there, you can continue to spiral upward to build a business that feels effortless. Moments of pain are often the perfect opportunities to upgrade our thinking and begin a buyback loop that changes our life. If you look around, you can see examples of the buyback loop in the lives of many of your entrepreneurial and artistic heroes. Tom Clancy, one of the best-selling novelists of all time, employed writers to produce dozens of books under his name over the last 2 decades of his career. Meanwhile, Clancy served loosely as a front-end guide to conceptualize the stories and spent more time exploring exhilarating and lucrative new opportunities as a film producer and creative consultant. See the trend? Clancy started out as an author, then as he grew his company, he transferred some of the work to others and kept growing and exploring in his own life. Clancy created a buyback loop: audit, transfer, fill. Audit, transfer, fill, to go from writer to storyteller to film producer. Pain often provides a choice. Here, you can either continue on as usual or use audit, transfer, fill to upgrade your thinking and your life. Or look at Warren Buffett. He spends his time on 2 primary tasks: reading books and searching for the next investment opportunity. His Berkshire Hathaway empire is approaching $1 trillion in value and employs nearly 400,000 people around the world. Of course, he didn't start there. He worked his way up in the financial world, starting early on as a salesman. Along the way, he was transferring tasks to others, upgrading his time and moving upward. Andy Warhol employed an eccentric group of ambitious artists and muses who helped him conceptualize and create his world-famous art. Over time, he began offloading much of the lower-value portions of his artistic endeavors to other artists inside his studio, the factory. He came up with ideas, then offloaded much of the middle portion of the work to other artists. Then he came in at the end to sprinkle on his magic. Over time, he created thousands of pieces of art. Whether he called it that or not, Andy Warhol used the buyback principle to become an iconic artist whose legacy continues to this day. We'll talk more about Warhol and the factory in Chapter 5. The simple audit, transfer, fill methodology creates an infinite cycle so you can continually upgrade your time throughout your entrepreneurial journey. I'll never disparage hard work or tell any entrepreneur that work ethic isn't a key component of success. You'd laugh at me, but I will say that you've got to couple a great work ethic with buying back your time. Here's how to start thinking audit, transfer, fill in your day-to-day, beginning right now. Audit. What tasks do I hate doing that are easy and inexpensive to offer someone else? Transfer. Who do I have on my team, or who can I hire, even part-time, to take these over? Fill. What tasks should I focus on that I love doing that can immediately bring more money to my company? Audit, transfer, fill is a simple expression of the buyback principle, but it offers a quick insight into what may be driving you crazy today. As we continue our journey, I'll offer more specific systems on how to buy back your time. But for now, just remember these 3 key words: audit, transfer, fill. Stewart wasn't a bad business owner. He was doing well, and he was highly competent in accounting, coding, and sales. Wearing all these hats may be inevitable at an early stage of your company. You can ride out the early days of a startup with all those hats on. But sooner or later, you'll reach a point of growth where you hit a wall and your individual efforts will no longer create the growth your business needs. And you'll either stop the growth by selling, sabotaging, or stalling. Or you'll learn to overcome that pain by shifting your strategy. I suggest the buyback principle. The buyback is what's allowed Stewart, Keith, Warren Buffett, and dozens of others that we'll learn about to take hold of their life and build a business that the more they grow, the more freedom and income it generates. That's what's in your future, beginning now. Just look around and audit how you're spending your time. Likely you'll find dozens of tasks someone else could do. Transfer those tasks to them. Then fill your time with something that gives you energy and makes you more money, beginning an infinite loop upward where the more money you make, the more you can buy back your time. Rethink how you see your business. Time is the currency, the vehicle allowing you to purchase what you love or what you hate. If you purchase more work that you can't stand, well, you'll build a business of pain. If instead, you constantly think of trading additional money to buy back your time, you'll grow a company that you'll love, not one that you'll want to escape from. At the end of each chapter, we'll end with the 5 hottest takeaways, followed by an application section called Step into the Arena, which will give you a jumpstart on applying the ideas discussed in the chapter. 5 buyback rules. Number 1, the buyback principle. Don't hire to grow your business, hire to buy back your time. Number 2, you can't personally outwork yourself to a better business. The problem is you only have 24 hours a day. Eventually, if you're doing everything, you or one of your relationships will break down. Number 3, if you keep grinding, you'll eventually hit the pain line, where you're experiencing so much pain when you try to grow that you'll do one of 3 things: stall it, sabotage it, or sell it. Number 4, when you hit the pain line, it should act as a feedback loop. This is your opportunity to embrace a new mindset or to continue on in the status quo, waiting for something to snap. Number 5, a buyback loop occurs as you continually audit your time to determine the low-value tasks that are sucking your energy. Then you transfer those tasks, optimally, to someone who's better at them and enjoys them. Lastly, you fill your time with higher-value tasks that light you up and make you more money. Then start the process over again. Step into the arena. Every time I share my screen in a Zoom conference call, someone points out the picture of the ripped guy on my desktop background. Sure, it gets some laughs in meetings when people see it, but it also motivates me to continue to work out every day. Because I see it so frequently, about 100 times per day, I'm constantly visualizing what I'm after, and that future vision motivates my present. For this chapter, I want you to envision your life without the barrage of to-dos and all the menial parts of your business you hate doing. I want you to know what you would do if you could buy back all that time. Ask yourself one question. What would I fill my time with if I wasn't spending all of it at work? I get it. Right now, that may not seem possible. Forget whether or not it's possible and just consider what you would fill your time with. Write it down. If I had 10 extra hours in a week, I'd spend it with my kids. If I had an extra day in my week, I'd join a yoga class. Do it right now. Get a pen and write it down. If you want to get really fancy, you can take this up a notch by getting a vision board of what your life might look like with that extra time. To make a vision board, get a bunch of images together. A picture of you and your kids playing baseball together, a photo of someone in a yoga class, a
This is the part that may not make the most sense for me because right now I could give a shit about going on vacation right now. I just want to pour all my time right now towards my highest and best use of my time, which is work. I want to work right now, okay? I understand vacation, I understand this bullshit. Right now I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have fucking kids, I don't have any other hobbies, I don't like to do yoga. What I'd like to do is I would just like to put all my time towards shit that actually matters in the business, and I wouldn't want to spend my time towards shit that doesn't matter. Or really, I just want to be able to show up to work and be like, man, today I'm gonna give my 100%, and I know for a fact that the things I'm doing today are actually bringing more revenue to the business, and not just like me doing $10 an hour tasks. That's really my goal. As of now, maybe this will change, longer when I go long in the season, my journey. But right now, I really don't give a shit about going on vacation. I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have. The only relationships I really truly have are with my mom and my dad and my siblings. And maybe I can. Maybe also a part of it, but I also still do that right now. Now, is it something I want to improve on? Sure, but 80% of the stuff I really do just want to focus on the shit that brings more revenue to the business, and not the stuff that is only $10 an hour. Get what I'm saying? So that's kind of note there.
Of you jet skiing across the water, etc., and put it all together. If you want to get an idea of how others have done this, you can go to buybackyourtime.com/resources to see some examples. Whatever you do, just get the picture in your head with words or a tangible image of what your life will look like once you've bought back your time. So I hope you enjoyed that chapter on not only the pain line, helping you understand when you're butting up that upper ceiling of your potential in your business, but also the buyback loop. I know I get asked all the time, why is this different than just hiring people? I've heard about delegating in the past. And what I want to share is the uniqueness of the buyback principle of saying we don't hire to grow our business, we hire to buy back our time, is because a lot of people, take profits from their business or any money they make, and they hire employees. They hire somebody to help with fulfillment, they hire somebody to help with the front desk or services or writing code or any other function in the business that just seems like, you're getting backed up in. But the truth is if you don't learn first to give yourself permission to buy back the time out of your life, then as you grow and you add all these people, it's just going to make that pain line so much more painful, right? And the buyback loop is a very powerful strategy. And a lot of people actually get it wrong. And the reason why is when they go to the fill part, the audit aspect and the strategy of identifying where you're investing your time, people get transferring it to somebody else. Okay, I get it. I shouldn't just hire for, to grow my business, so you hire somebody to buy back my time, and that's the stuff I'm going to transfer. But the fill part is very important to understand, is that for most entrepreneurs, the biggest opportunity is for them to invest in a new set of skills. And the reason why is the next level for them in their business, in their growth, in their happiness and feeling more fulfilled is learning a skill on how to do that. It doesn't matter if it's marketing or working with an executive assistant or hiring a salesperson or whatever it is. There's a mindset aspect of it. There's relationships. They've got to learn how to fill that time with things that are going to give them the next edge to be able to monetize their time at a higher level to reinvest that in their business. And another thing I want to share is stories of the pain line, because the pain line is a funny one. Because sometimes people when they talk about selling their business, they're like, well, there's this great opportunity, and I feel like I've been doing this for 10 years, and why wouldn't I sell the business? And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just want to encourage people to ask themselves the question, if the challenges in my business weren't there today, would you keep going? Because if they weren't, and the answer is yes, then I'm going to tell you this. At some point in the future, in your next endeavor, entrepreneurs are going to create, we're creators, we're not going to stop. You will hit that new upper level, that ceiling. And you can either work on developing the new skills, right? Buying back your time and filling it with, learning the skills to fill it up with higher value stuff to kind of break through that ceiling. Or you can decide to sell today. And you're essentially just setting in stone, this is my ceiling. And I think there's a real opportunity for people to look at that. And the sabotage one is so unique because it's so subtle. It's subconscious. We don't even know we're doing it half the time. And a lot of it comes from fears, right? Fear that we're not enough, fear that we're going to fail, fear that we might humiliate ourselves or whatever it is. And the truth is that subconscious programming that's stopping you from taking bold, courageous actions to move forward, because that pain line is present. That fear of pain is there. So we don't make the investments in becoming the person who can deal with a higher level of challenges, right? And I always say, pain is not optional. Everybody's going to have pain in their life. Suffering is optional. And what we want to do is we want to trade our problems for higher quality problems. They'll never go away. The problems will always be there. But can we be the person who can deal with a higher level of problems? And that's going to come from the buyback loop by filling our time and investing in new skills and mindsets and relationships to help us move to the next level. So I just want to share that because it's such an important part of the buyback principle that I didn't want it to be missed. So I hope you find this interesting and fascinating so far. Next chapter, we're going to talk about the drip matrix. Let's get into it. Chapter 2, the drip matrix. Oprah Winfrey had a rough childhood. She bounced between her grandmother, her mother, and the man she calls her father, Vernon. As a young girl, she was abused. As a teenager, she had an unplanned pregnancy. Those were just a couple of the many troubles she faced as a young black girl and teenager in the 1960s. In her 20s, she landed a job as a news anchor in 1977. But the next year, she was demoted. Apparently, she was the wrong color. The network had hired her, then kind of fired her, and then didn't know what else to do with her, so they put her on a not-so-well-rated talk show. Her demotion proved to be exactly what she needed. Her first interview wasn't exactly the caliber of Larry King Live. No presidents, kings, or other heads of state. Instead, she interviewed Tom Carvel, Ice Cream King, and an actor from a soap opera. This type of interview wouldn't typically produce earth-shattering revelations, but for Oprah, it was a turning point. After her first show, Oprah knew, this is what I'm supposed to do. Before, when she was reporting news stories, she felt as if she were taking advantage of the people she interviewed by using their personal lives to sell news. But when she got real into people's lives, she connected with her own calling. The moment I did that talk show, I felt like I could be myself. From there, Oprah crushed it. You probably know pieces of the rest of her story. She eventually went on to found The Oprah Winfrey Show, won 47 daytime Emmys, was named Queen of All Media, and became one of the first black billionaires on earth. It's hard not to like Oprah. She may be a celebrity now, but many people feel they know her, because after all, she just seemed like a real person. She's had significant struggle. Even after she rose above her rough upbringing, she still faced adversity. But when she found the thing that gave her more energy than anything else, her life transformed and her world ignited. She went from a news reporter to a world-renowned talk show host, went on to become one of the richest self-made women in the world. She's inspired millions and built an empire, and she's loved
I just want to skip to the fucking good part where it shows me the actual actionable let's see. Like, I honestly don't give a shit about the stories. I really only care about the audit your time to find time and energy sucking tasks that others can do. Reinvest that time in money making activities or activity. Invest only in tasks that make you the most money and light you up. So what I'm gonna do is I might just have my exec assistant kind of go over my full schedule and shit, or kind of just help me do an audit of my time and see where the areas we can, improve. So I'm gonna maybe just have her sit here for an entire day, just watching me do my thing and really just studying me the entire day, but also still doing her shit. I think that'll be the best way to do an audit, is to have her just sit with me and see what I do all day. I think that's the first thing we do before we start doing other shit, is we just do an audit first of all, and then we can get into more stuff later. Let's see if I can. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do an audit first, because I already understand the concept. We gotta do an audit first, and then we gotta understand, okay, let's put it into buckets of like, okay, these are tasks that are $10 an hour or shit that sucks my energy, and then these are tasks that are cool, not cool, and then these are tasks that I love, pretty much. Or would just be the drip matrix. So first, right now, I'm gonna do some planning for the rest of the week. So I'm gonna go, hold on. So that's really that. I actually genuinely like the book. I think it's a great book. I hope to meet Dan Martell one day. So that's a great book. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna do some planning for tomorrow. Let's see, I do have so much. I have to do a lot of planning for this week. Yeah.
Let me show you guys real quick on my actual schedule every single day, and a schedule that I've been working on for years now. I've joined peak performance programs like the Flow Research Collective by Rian Dioris and Stephen Kotler, and I've looked at all the productivity things and everything and thing about being productive. I have looked into all of it, and I have been a biohacker for most of my career. So right now, I'm gonna give you all the secrets for free. Hopefully, this thing actually fucking works. So it's super simple. Don't have to overcomplicate it with shit. I still do this cold plunge or whatever. Let me pull up my schedule here actually. So my day starts at around 6:30. Can you guys see that? 6:30. I don't know why I'm starting so low, but it starts at 6:30, and I'm at the office usually at like 7:15 max. So literally, this time is just me getting the hell up, doing my shit, and looking at my calendar early in the day, looking what's up for the day, what are my things that go on in the day, and getting some sunlight. That's really what all is between here. 7:15. I'll be working till about 12 p.m. And mind you, between this time, I absolutely will not have any meetings whatsoever. I am very introverted in the mornings. I'd like to keep it that way. If you guys are doing sales meeting stuff, then that's just your job. But I personally don't have to do that shit. I don't have to talk to anyone. I love that. I only talk to people after I have lunch. There's so many things about my routine that I'm gonna talk about, but in between here is just gonna be deep solo work, and it's just projects that I myself have to actually move forward, right? So this is the time where I can get most shit done. From 12 to about 12:30, that's usually my lunch time. And then it's actually really, I plan the lunches, I really make sure either my mom's cooking at home, which is a luxury, or I'll DoorDash some shit from like a clean restaurant. And you want to really make sure, I've done this so many times, is you do not want to have a high carb or high sugar type of meal at lunch, because it will absolutely shut you down. I don't know why people do it. I get the reason why pasta sounds so good. I get the reason why a humongous Chipotle bowl with double meat, double guac, and double rice sounds good, because I do it. I've done it before, but it absolutely destroys you and makes you so lethargic. So do not do this. Do not have a high sugar meal. Just have something high protein, low carb, low sugar. Try to, if better, just no carbs. You can just do like some fucking ground beef. It's easy to cook. It's cheap, it's easy, preferably some grass-fed stuff. But if you're still broke right now and you're still on the come up, just do some bone broth, bro. Maybe you're in a season right now you can only afford bone broth. Just do bone broth. It's nutritional, it's easy, it's good, it'll fill you up. And then the level up from that is like ground beef. That's all. And throughout the fucking day, you want to make sure you're hydrated. Now, you don't want to be too hydrated to where you're taking a bathroom break every fucking 30 minutes. You want to be, somewhat hydrated. Like, you want to have at least half a gallon of water. Even that's like on the very, very low end. I would say, I think it's like, I don't know the exact amount of gallons per body weight, but I would say, most people, 3/4 of a gallon or a little more than a gallon. You want to make sure you don't take it all at one time, and you want to space it throughout the day. Or a good rule of thumb is if you feel thirsty, have some water. You don't want to have too much, because then it fucks with your electrolytes and your shit like that. You can also, I also seen some people do this, is they take electrolytes and salts in the morning to help with their electrolyte balances. So you could do that as well. I am trying some hydrogen water by this is actually in Florida, but this brand called the Pure Hydrogen Water. I don't know all the benefits. Maybe it's placebo, maybe it's not. By the way, placebo makes up like 90% of all the benefits of any supplement out there. So like placebo plays a huge role. Other than that, after 12:30, I'm back in the office at like 12:30, latest by 12:45. And then from then I'll work until about 5:30-ish, depending on what I have, but it's usually 5:30. And here I'll really, the most priority things is usually I'll have meetings, top priority meetings that I have to take down, and then collaborative work, meaning I'm working with other people on this, that I have to be collaborative. At some I have to be a little more extroverted. So it goes in the priority of meetings, second collaborative work, and then third back to deep solo work like I was doing in the fucking morning. So that is my, I would say, work day. Now, the actual evening routine is pretty important because I started liking this. And honestly, if you can't get your day's work done in that amount of hours, you have a fucking problem. You have a delegation issue. You have some sort of root issue to where you have to work this amount of time and you still haven't got your shit done. You still can't close it out. I get that there's seasons for this, but man, if you've been doing this for like more than 90 days straight, I beg you, I get maybe you're starting a company, maybe you're doing this, maybe you're writing a book, I don't care. then okay, it makes sense to where maybe you have to work from 7 to 7 or whatever it is. But there is a point where you do have to find that stopping point, because your body will eventually give out, your mind will eventually give out. I get the people that are like, yeah, burnout doesn't exist. This is for another day, another conversation for another day, but burnout does exist, but not at the level of people think it is. Burnout is very dependent on the context of the entire situation. You will fucking burn out, of course, if you don't like what you do. If you do like what you do, then there's it's really hard to burn out, okay? But those people can still burn out, okay? Which is very rare, but again, that's for another day. So after, let's say, just ended work 5:30. Now, do I cut off communications with my team? Do I completely shut off work? No, this is just like me off my actual desk. Most of the time, I still spend a lot of time on Slack. I still spend a lot of time in the Facebook group. It's nonstop. It's an entrepreneurship life. That's just how you fucking, if you're not built for it, then just give up right now. Get the fuck out of here. 5:30, this is like still my current routine. I don't find plans to change it. I think it's perfect. So from 5:30, let's check. Let me make sure this is right. I think I changed it recently just to optimize a couple things. But I actually forgot to mention this. I only start taking caffeine at 8 p.m. No, 8 a.m. So I take caffeine at 8 a.m. because Andrew Huberman said that you gotta wait at least 90 minutes. So that's like 2 hours or so, or actually, perfectly hour and a half. Usually I don't need caffeine that early in the day. And if you do feel like you need caffeine that early in the day, you need a fucking detox because you're a fucking caffeine addict. Let's see, so, I'm signed out. Hold on. I got you guys. I'm putting you guys on game. I'm giving you guys like literally thousands and thousands of dollars back of value. God damn it, fuck it open. Oh, sorry, it said, not supposed to say that G-O-D. Let's see. So here's the deal, dude. I will, 5:30, I'm gonna go and do my cold shower, cold tub. Usually it's just cold tub, but this whole thing, because I gotta shower and shit and get ready and fucking all that, it's 45 minutes, a little longer than I'd like. But I take my pre-workout right after the plunge, so it starts setting in. Now, is this the most optimal? I don't know yet. Does someone want to correct me in the comments? Please do if you're a doctor. So I'll do it right after. Usually that's like 6 p.m. is usually when I'll take the pre-workout. Now and then I'll be at the gym at 7 p.m. So I'm at the gym at 7 p.m. and guess what? I beat the fucking 5 p.m. traffic and the 6 p.m. traffic. So I'm like going there. It's still congested, but if I'd left right after working, I didn't do my cold plunge, I didn't do my dinner, I would literally be stuck in traffic, in the worst traffic. I'd spend at least an hour in traffic, and no one wants to fucking do that. If you want to do that, kudos to you, but I'm at the gym at 7 p.m. It takes me about 15 minutes to get there, and I skip the part here. I'll have dinner at around 6:15 from 6, so I'll have dinner for 40 or 30 minutes, dinner, sorry for the handwriting, and then that gives me 15 minutes to head to the fucking gym, and then record another car video for you guys. Now from 7 p.m. to about 8 p.m., I'll be done with my workout, and actually I'm about to start a challenge right now called the 3 Ups Challenge, and it's 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and 100 sit-ups every day for 100 days straight. I think I'm starting that in about 2 days. So I think I'll finish that, and then, whatever time I have left, I'll just, do whatever that day was gonna be. I do the bro split. I just do chest and triceps on Monday, Tuesday back and biceps, Wednesday shoulders and legs, and then start over again. Sunday's my rest day, okay? I'm literally giving you guys my secrets to how I do what I do and keep doing what I do as an entrepreneur and stay fit and stay healthy and stay fucking amazing. I can talk about diet as well on this. But this is the routine itself. I'm probably missing a couple things, but 8 p.m., they have a steam room at their place. I will hit the steam room, but honestly, I really love the sauna way more, and I hate the fact that gym doesn't have a fucking sauna. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm probably gonna get a sauna soon, in like 2 or 3 months, and I'm just gonna head home and do the sauna at home. So I'll probably do that. So I'm probably home at like 8:45, a little later than I like, but I would pretty much do my recovery from 8 to 8:30. And now you're like, Andy, how do you get in family time in? Well, here's the deal. 8:45, I get home. And then I think 8:45, I come home, I take my sleep supplements, I think. Actually, I gotta fix that right there. So I take my sleep supplements right there. I get a little, I try to cut out liquids because usually the pre-workout or my workout itself is the last of my liquids if I have any water during here. I'll try not to have any liquids because it really affects your sleep if you have to get up during your sleep cycle and then go piss. If you are drinking liquids late, if you're thirsty, get some Gatorade like zero with no, or like with some salt and stuff, and then that'll help you retain water. You can do something like that. But just try to cut out the salt. And I'm about to break down the science on why my schedule is like this. Now, 8:45, so like really 9 to 9:30 is family time. So I'll spend time with my brother, my sister, my mom, and I'll go for a walk or something and do whatever. So that is usually my schedule right there. So, and then 9:30, I try. So 9:30 to 9:45, I will be shutting down. I'll brush my teeth, take off my contacts, do whatever. Usually by this time, the fucking sleep supplements I took earlier hit, so I'm like fucking exhausted right now. And honestly, that is not needed if you fucking just worked hard for all the days I was exhausted with meetings and deep solo and all the projects I had to move forward and all that shit, and I closed it out. Those are the best days for my sleep. So you don't fuck all the other shit. Just work hard during the day, push the workout, push through actual work, and then you'll sleep like a baby. Don't worry about sleep. Don't worry about any of that shit. And if you still have problems, then take melatonin. But a lot of this shit, you can just like, it's a lot of lifestyle changes. It's not really like some secret supplement you have to take. And I've tried all of them. I really have. I've tried all of them. So 9:45, at 9:45, because I'll be on my phone for like, I'm not gonna lie, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, so I'll kind of go over this. This is something I'm trying to fix. I'm not good at this yet. But at 9:45, that is my optimal, like, I'm trying to be eyes closed at this point, because I know it'll take me about 15 to 20 minutes to actually fall asleep. Because you know that, you can say 9:45 on your fucking calendar or on your schedule, but you're really not falling asleep until like 11. I know some of you guys, and I've been victim because it says 10 p.m. on my calendar, but really you're on fucking scrolling on YouTube Shorts. I fall victim to it, okay? I very much fall victim to it. But this has been really optimal for me. 9:45, sleep at 10, that's a perfect day. This is a perfect day for me. Wake up 6:30, do it all over again. And that is my perfect day schedule. I don't know if this even explains it well, but I'm gonna break down the science real quick for you guys that are interested in that. Look, the dinner, I don't have, I used to have like my workout, so I used to have my workout sort of fasted, so I would go right after the cold shower, I wouldn't have dinner, and then have dinner after my workout. But then I found out that was also affecting my sleep because my body had to still digest this food, and also I wanted to have a little energy for my workout. So that's why I moved my dinner up. So I would have some energy, have some carbs in for, whatever I have that day, especially if it's a brutal leg day. Now that I go to the gym, I just, if you guys are spending more than 2 hours at the gym, you guys are wasting so much time because you can get a good fucking workout done in an hour. Like, you do not need to spend 2 hours at the fucking gym. I hate the guys that are like preaching that, like, what the fuck does seriously, logically, on paper, getting bigger does not make you more money unless you're in the fitness space. Maybe there's some sort of correlation there, but most 80% of the results are gonna come from you fucking pushing your guts out in that 1 hour. A lot of you guys are fucking on your phone. I know some guys that like scroll on YouTube Shorts in the middle of their sets. I don't know how that's possible. I just go put on some rock, I put on max volume, and I go in there and I'm pumping it out, and if any of you guys are wondering what pre-workout I use Gorilla Mode Nitric. So it gets me my pump, it gets me my creatine in, but there's no stim, so it doesn't affect my sleep. I'm telling you guys, I go deep in this stuff, I really do. This schedule I've been tweaking and adjusting forever, and I think I've found where I need to be. I think this is perfect. I really do think it's perfect. Now, the only thing I'd like to change is the gym being a little closer, because it's like 15 minutes away. My other gym I used to go to was about like 5 minutes away, so I was a little better. But that is my schedule. That's how I am an entrepreneur. And Ilham, maybe we can make this a separate video because I think maybe just push this to the beginning of the video, because this is actually pretty interesting and I think people would actually enjoy it. So that is really all. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but pretty much you can just rewind the video. That's what I do. For any productivity things I do for the simplest way to be productive in a day is to just get good sleep. That's it. Just get good sleep. And then for diet, it's really just the biggest thing is for lunch, just don't have a lot of carbs, because you'll have a huge sugar crash and you're gonna be super exhausted and super lethargic. Like, I'm fucking exhausted right now. It's about, I think it's 8:30. It's a Sunday. I'm off schedule. But tomorrow, Monday, I'm gonna be following the schedule. I'm also trying to readjust after a trip. So pretty much tomorrow, I'll start getting back in my zone. And again, for workouts, some science behind this shit. So for my workouts, I make sure that I don't get fancy with it. I don't care about the science behind it. If I come out that fucking gym and I'm sweating and I feel good and I feel good. I feel like, I pushed myself that day. I went to failure on some sets. I came out with the sweat, and I feel good. Then that to me is me growing. That to me is like, okay, I hit some sort of pain line and I somewhat, went past it. And that's honestly all that matters to me. I could give a shit about all the science behind it. I don't care, because that's not my focus right now. My focus right now is to build a fucking multi-million-dollar business, okay, while staying fit and healthy in the process. Now, how I'm staying healthy is a couple of things. So again, really, it's all no cereal bullshit. No processed sugars. Obviously, like some of you guys should know this already. If you can't even read the fucking ingredients list, and if you can't even pronounce an ingredient in the ingredients list, you should not fucking get it. Okay, you should be eating whole, real foods. Okay, this is pretty simple. I mean, and if you're on a budget, the motivation is fucking make some more money so you can eat better, because your body is your temple, and I think your output comes from the shit you eat, and a lot of things actually are effective when you eat like shit. Your workouts go like shit. Your mind gets all foggy because you're eating like bullshit, and then your sleep gets all fucked up, and that all combines together by making your work fucked up, and now you make less money because your work's fucked up and all this stuff. So it's like a vicious cycle. So in the meantime, if you're in that season of just starting your shit, don't worry about the schedule, okay? Just get whatever you need done, but just make sure that you just follow the fundamentals of getting good sleep. Do not fall in the trap of getting 4 hours of sleep, okay? Do not do that, okay? Don't be stupid. Don't listen to the guys, those motivational dudes that are like, you only need 4 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep at night. Do not listen to them. Please do not listen to them. The human body does not lie. The studies do not lie. This is the only field where I actually get scientific and actually study about, because sleep is so important. Did you know, listen right here, did you know that there is a study done on more than 2 billion people every year, and it's done twice a year, and guess what they are? It's 1 day of, there's 1 day is daylight savings time, and then there's another day where, of course, there's a day there's an hour that's added in a day, and a day where an hour is taken away. Guess what? On the day where there's an hour taken away, in theory, people are sleeping less, right? And there is a 20-something% increase in heart attacks for that day, the day where an hour is taken away. And the day where there's an hour added on, and guess what? Well, guess what the rate of heart attacks were? It was 20-something% symmetrically in a decrease in heart attacks. I explain that like shit, but pretty much what you need to get from this is an hour of sleep does so much for, one, just happiness, a day-to-day happiness. And there was a study done It's a really interesting study. It's an extra hour of sleep affects day-to-day happiness more positively than a pay raise of $70,000. I think I don't know if I explained it right, but an extra hour of sleep impacts day-to-day happiness more than a pay raise of like $70,000. And it just like fucking blew my mind because everyone's like so focused on the money, but you could have just like, and then you're like, oh, if I make the money, I can be happy. But like the sleep is like the fundamentals of anything. You can't even be happy if you're foggy and if you're sleeping like 2-3 hours a night. You know, I get it if there's seasons, but I promise you it will be so worth it to just be clear-minded. As an entrepreneur, you have to be rational. You have to be able to make decisions without like going all over the place. You can't be reactive, because when you have less sleep, you will be more reactive. You will be more groggy. You will be a little more like stingy. Like you will experience all the bad emotions that comes with bad sleep. So get good sleep. You don't need a full 8 hours, but at least you want to get like at least 6 hours. At the very, like that's bare minimum. That's honestly barely surviving. I would say for most people, at least 7 hours, and that does not mean, and a lot of people, this is where people get wrong. This is actually why I do this. I do that at 9:45, I'm eyes closed. So that puts 15 minutes of me, like that buffer time. And the reason why I wake up at 6:30 and have that 30-minute gap between 6 and 6:30 is there is times in your sleep, I track this on my Whoop, there is times where you're actually awake. You may think, you know, oh, I fell asleep at 10 and I woke up at 6:30 and I slept for 8.5 hours. No, you're actually, a lot of times, you're actually unconsciously awake just due to being really close to light sleep, many factors due to maybe sounds during the night, or you having to get up during the night. It's like all this stuff, and for me, it's around like 45 minutes a night. So even if I'm sleeping, doing the schedule, 9:45 to 6:30, I may only be sleeping for 7.5 hours. Like actually sleeping for 7.5 hours. And my restorative sleep is really something for me to brag about. It's right now I'm trying to decrease my awake times because right now it's a little high. I want it to be closer to sub 30 minutes and my restorative sleeps to be over 50% of my total sleep. So enough of that science bullshit. As far as diet goes, diet I'm trying to still play with right now, but it's very low, or most of my carbs come from fruits or honey, and I'm pretty much following the Paul Saladino guide, and I've lost like 15 pounds. I don't want to do this. I'm trying to gain back weight, so I'm just eating more beef. I'll have chicken every now and then if it's pasture raised. I'll have salmon if it's wild caught. I don't get any farm raised bullshit. And then I don't have vegetables. I mean, I may start taking the eight green stuff where it's like a green supplement, but I really don't. Most of the vitamins and nutrients can come from, I mean, it's way more bioavailable in actual red meat. I have liver. I have like half an ounce of liver. I'm adding some beef heart in my diet. And I've been feeling great. I've been feeling really good. I have blueberries, avocados, bananas. I'm trying to have some papaya. And for dairy, I'm trying to get some raw dairy, like some raw milk. Am I saying this is the best diet in the world? No. Am I trying it out and is it feeling good for me? Yes. Right now, because my blood sugar levels are a little bit high. So I'm trying to limit as much as the intense complex carbs as possible. So, you know, I usually eat like 4 cups. So enough with the diet. Like just don't, like the biggest thing with any diet anyone will agree with is just stop eating the processed shit. Okay, stop eating the processed shit, the ultra processed bullshit, the shit like the Great Value Walmart bullshit. Anything that you can't read the ingredients label for, don't buy it. Okay, any Red 40 stuff, obviously don't buy it. And then really anything else, you want to be whole foods. If you can get organic, get organic. You know, I think most people would agree with this, like get organic stuff. Don't eat ultra processed foods. Some people may not agree with this, but avoid fucking seed oils like canola oil, and stuff. Like that's clearly bad for you, like peanut oil, all that's clearly bad for you. All the linoleic acid increase in the human body. Linoleic acid has been proven to be wrong, but this is not a health channel. This is a raw documentary of an 18-year-old entrepreneurship or entrepreneur channel. And today we talked about schedule, talked about all the sleep stuff. I can, do another day of like how my sleep schedule like setup actually looks like, my diet. If you guys are interested in that, comment down below. If you've even made it this far in the video, I don't know who actually watches these videos. This is more of just my journal of me tracking my stuff. And really, that's all. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.